Welcome to Chris Horner's Corner. Today is the special butterfly effect rest day of the 2020 Giro d'Italia first rest day. What were we witnessing on stage 9 when all the riders were going back to their team cars in the rain and the cold? What were they talking about? Why were they back there? That's what we're going to discuss today. First off, before you drop back to the team car, I'm going to pop onto my race radio. I'm going to say, this is Horner. I need food, rain jacket, gloves, Cokes, hot tea. Get the hot tea ready. Everything else. Okay. That tells the director and the mechanic in the back of the car to go ahead and reach into the trunk of the car and get out my rain bag. The mechanic is going to reach for this rain bag that is in the back of car number 1 and car number 2. Every professional racer in Europe has 2 of these bags prepared. One is going with car number 1. This one's marked number 2, so you know it's going to be in car number 2. Inside this bag, if you watch the how-to video on the race rain bag, I'll empty this thing all out for you and show you what every pro rider has in their rain bags, especially if they're as anal as I am about the rain bag and like it prepared. So when I come back to the car on today's take, this is where all of my clothing is coming from, out of my rain bag. Europeans call it the race rain bag. I'll hand that back to Garrett. Now, soon as I call him, he knows I'm coming back. This mirror is not bent in like that on purpose. Usually it's out on everybody else's car at home. In the races, as soon as I drop back to the team car, the director's going to reach for that as soon as he sees me and move it out of the way. That's going to give me a ton more space to talk to the director and get up closer to him, as close between me and the door as I can. When you see the riders this close, we do hit the door and bump off the door from time to time. When we're doing the same speed, there's nothing wrong with that. I can bump this door. As long as the car is doing the same speed as I am, I can bump off the door many, many times. But you do not want to get the mirror hooked up into your levers here. You won't recover from that, okay? That's going to be important. You'll see all the directors move that mirror back. Now it's raining, it's cold. The first thing I want, and the reason why I really dropped back there, was to get my rain jacket. So I'm yelling, rain jacket, I want the long sleeve one. Okay, in my rain jacket, you have a vest. That's a rain jacket. That works great, but in the real cold, you got to make sure you have the arms on there. So I'm asking specifically, I want my rain jacket, long sleeve. In my race bag, I have multiple kinds of jackets, so I got to be real specific on what I want. He hands me the jacket that I want. I'm going to throw it on as fast as I can. I'll move a little ways away from the car so I'm not this close to give a little bit of room for air. And I'll throw it on. It's super cold, so I'm going to zip this thing up. If it's not cold, I'll leave it. If it's not really cold, I'll leave it open so I can get to the pockets easier. Now I'm going to zip it up. We're going to pull it up like this. Stay warm. I'm going to flip the back of it like this immediately, because now I got my pockets free, right? If you're coming back to the car, you got to have the pockets. Give me my gloves. I need the race gloves. I need the race gloves first. My hands are freezing, man. Give me the long finger gloves. So he's going to hand me the long finger gloves. I'm going to throw these things on. Absolutely essential that your gloves in your race car have to be loose or big. You cannot have these gloves fitting tight. You don't want a brand new pair of gloves in there. You want to make sure you've already tried these gloves out, broken them in a few times, and made sure that they fit for your hand. If they're too tight and your hands are wet and they're numb, you can't feel your fingers. You can barely move your fingers in and out to make a fist. If they're too tight, you won't even be able to get these things on during the race. It's impossible. Your gloves have to be loose to big fitting when you're actually going to go back to the car, okay? So don't put a brand new pair of tight gloves in your race car if you're a young pro. Everything in your race bag you need to have worn already and broken in and make sure it works, okay? So he hands me the gloves. I'm starting to get warm. Got my gloves on. The next thing I want is a hot tea. Okay, hand me the hot tea. He hands me the hot tea. I grab the hot tea. His elbow is locked into the back window here. The window seal right up here, it's locked. So this becomes a little more of a stick. And every time I grab a bottle, step on the gas. He steps on the gas, closes the gap for me. I grab the hot tea. This one's really hot. They pulled it out of a thermos. They actually put it in the bottle right when I called for it from the field. So that's why you get on the radio. I want the hot tea. Before you get back to the car, they prepare this bottle. This bottle's hot. It's warm. You're freezing cold. I am not going to put this down here on the bike in the water bottles water bottle cage of the bike, because this thing is warm and hot and I'm freezing, folks. This thing's going right up here next to the chest, okay? I'm gonna stuff it right under the shirt like that. It's gonna be right up next to the chest and starting to warm me up on those cold days. It's not rare. I'll drink half this. I might pour half on my fingers to get some feeling back, or spray my toes even. So I keep that thing warm and tucked in there, and it's warming up and heating the core. You young pros that are heading over there, racing in the U.S., getting ready to go over to Europe, keep that in mind. The warm tea bottle goes up against the chest. Give me some more bottles. All right, so he's handing me some more sugar bottles. He's handing me some more waters. In the rain, I always loved water, because hand me the water, he steps on it. Again, the elbow's blocked in there. He accelerates, hands me the bottle. If he hands me water, I can clear my lenses, right? If you have water, you can't have X and sugar and be spraying off all the debris. Remember, the guy in front of me, his bike is spraying all that water up into my face. It's coming underneath the hat here. It's cutting into the glasses. If I have water, I could spray it off. So most likely, I didn't use juice that much when I'm in the race. I drank Cokes. I used hot tea. I did special trips back to the car. Most of my bottles on the bike, when I wasn't just downing the sugar down, was just water on the bike to clean the lenses so that I could actually see and stay hydrated. So I throw that in there. Give me some more bottles. Garrett, give me some more bottles. I take these bottles, pop them in the back pocket here, okay? No more bottles. Give me Cokes. Now I need Cokes. All right, so he's handing up Cokes. He's throwing the Cokes. These are absolutely vital, right? I already told you I don't take sugar on the bikes mixed in the water during the rain, because I want to keep the glasses. So I'm getting my sugars from the Cokes, from the gels, from the candy bars. I'm reaching back here. There's always multiple Cokes needed for the race, so I'll grab 2 or 3 more, and I'll start throwing them down the back and in the jersey, and I'll start pushing them up the front. Hand me another Coke. Hand me another Coke. The Cokes coming out on a rainy day are warm. They don't have them in a cooler filled of ice, okay? When you're over in Europe and it's a rainy day, they know they don't put any ice in the cooler. It's empty. These are room temperature, or whatever the temperature inside the car is. So you'll stuff it up. Once I run out of back pockets, I'll stuff it up the front if I need to too. And I'll stuff it up here, but it's warm. It's not a cold Coke, so don't think I'm putting a cold Coke up there. I never do that. I got my warm tea right here, warming me up, and I'm putting whatever extra bottles. I could have the front filled, and I could have the back filled, because I'm going back for my teammates' bottles too, right? Pull the rain jacket down. The rain jacket's always stiff and difficult because it's aerodynamic and it doesn't pull a lot of wind drag, but it's difficult to pull over the chest and the back pockets filled with bottles. The upside is it holds it in there later for me to do the journey back. Now I'm like, give me some bars. I need some chocolate bars. Go ahead and give me the Mars, the Snickers. I'll throw these. Now I filled up all my pockets. This makes it easy. We'll stuff them straight up the leg like this, and it'll hold it right there. The upside is, when I get back up to my teammates, it's easy to pull out because my hands are still numb, right? You put gloves on, but trust me, your hands are freezing. They're not back to 100%, so it's easy to grab it. Throw me some gels, Garrett. He throws me some gels. I'll grab the gel. Same thing. Every time I'm grabbing, his elbow's stuck in there, and he's accelerating again, and he's closing gaps for me. That may have occurred between his car and the director's car in front, okay? Take these. I'll pull the sleeve up like this. Remember, the bike's moving around a little bit like this while we're doing it. Slapping it up there. It's in the leg. Now I'm ready to head back to the field. The director will always start to drift back with me. When he's drifting back as he's giving me bottles, it's opening up a little bit of space between the car in front of him and his car, and also allowing me to rest a little bit and get off the pedals a tiny bit while we're easing up, making that gap. With each hand up of a bottle of Coke, a gel, a Snickers, whatever it happens to be, he steps on the gas and closes that gap for me. But for the last bottle, when he thinks it's going to be the last one, that gap is the biggest we want it to be between his car and the car in front of him. Okay, last bottle. This is the last bottle. He knows it's coming. I know it's coming. Elbow locked into the back window. I grab the bottle. He's made the biggest gap between his front bumper and the rear bumper, the car in front of him, that he can. Could be even five car lengths or something. And he'll step on the gas as hard as he can. I'll grab this bottle. He'll bring me up to 50 miles an hour. I'll grab the bottle, pull off. I'll put this one in my teeth because now all my pockets are filled and all that. I'll hold this in my teeth when he slingshots me to the back of the group. Grab that. First teammate I come to, I hand them this bottle because this one hasn't been in my mouth. I hand that to my teammate. I take the one that's been in my mouth and throw it here. Now I start unloading all the food in the gear, right? If maybe I had extra rain jackets, extra gloves for other guys in the team. Okay, now everybody's fed. I'm starting to get warm. I'll give you one other technique when you're back at the car that's really, really important. Young pros, I only learned this when I was 36 years old, chasing back on, holding on the cars at a stage of the Tour de France. Huge crash. I made it through the crash. The back tire had flatted. Now all the cars were held up. I was way off the back on a flat stage of the Tour de France. Being off the back on mountain stages, you can make the time cut no problem, but on the flat stages, those are the most difficult. So I'm way off the back. Johan comes up and I'm holding onto the car like this, onto the window, and we're doing 70 miles an hour, okay? When you're holding onto the window at 70 miles an hour, your bike is bouncing off the car like this with every little bump in the road that you come up to. We fly through the feeding zone. When we're flying through the feeding zone, I'm actually dodging some of the bottles that the front tire is exploding at my bike, and I'm bouncing off the window. Finally, we come out of the feeding zone. We're still off the back. I've been holding onto the car for a few minutes. Johan looks at me, and he goes, "Chris, put your elbow against the back window." I couldn't understand what he was saying. I've been a pro for a long time. I'm 36 years old. Had no idea what he was talking about. He's like, "Put your elbow against the back window." I looked at him again. He's like, "Just put it in there." Every pro, keep this. If you learn nothing from this video, keep this tip. You grab hold of the window here. You lock the elbow into the back. As soon as you lock the elbow into the back window, you become part of the car. It will increase the stiffness in your acceleration with the car immensely compared to when you're holding on like this and your bike is just banging off, and every time the car accelerates, it's pulling you like this, right? You're getting pulled, you're getting snapped. Every time you snap, the bike is coming back into the car. You lock the elbow into that back window, folks. You become one with the car. When the director steps on that gas pedal, and he's going to have to do it at some point in time, you're going to be holding onto the car. All you guys out there that hate the riders drafting on the car, holding on the car, I'm sorry, we don't have timeouts in this sport. This isn't baseball. We don't stop for rain, okay? So lock in there, lock on that back window with the elbow, and you become part of the car. This is as tight as you will ever become part of the car. He will accelerate. At times we're doing 70 miles an hour when we're locked in. So get that elbow locked in there, you young pros. That's a big thing. I'm giving you advantage to learn that right now. Lock it in there. Director's doing 70. You're back on the back of the group. You let go of the car, you slingshot to the back of the group, and now you're back in the race, and you're not getting disqualified for being out of the time limit. Okay, keep that in mind. Hope you guys enjoyed my first rest day Giro 2020, how to and butterfly effect. I'll see you guys later. We got 2 more good weeks of racing at the Giro. Hope you enjoyed the show. Like and subscribe. See you real soon.